They do not go and seek advices from the world, because in your mind they are so connected with the self. No, they know. They very much know. Sattvic people, when you are around them, you will begin to feel calm and peaceful. Then now I am over this. I have grown. I have evolved, and now I am in the state of forgiving others. What is that? A state of Sattva. Okay. So Rajas is operating in these units. These three chakras, here greed, here excess emotions, here excess talking. All three are Rajas. All three Rajas. In the avastha of your Chitta, we discuss mood avastha. Mood avastha is for tamasic people. Kshipt and vikshipt avastha is for disturbed state of mind. And vikshipt is they are able to focus sometimes, but they are still little disturbed, distracted very easily. But mostly, if there is high rajas in your system, it is the kshipta avastha. Kshipta. Okay? Let me write it down. The second guna we learnt is rajas. Do you understand what I am saying? All of us go through these. Okay, all of us sometimes go through tamas, sometimes so much restlessness within, right? I'll take questions after completing the sattva. Write it down, write your question. Okay? And then the third state is a state of peace, harmony, love, forgiveness, calmness, acceptance, embrace. Is the state of sattva. Okay, S-A-T-T-V-A. What is the avastha of a sattvic person? Is ekagra and nirodha. Ekagra means focused. They are very clear, very clear. They do not go and seek advices from the world, because in your mind they are so connected with the self. No, they know, very much know. Sattvic people, when you are around them, you will begin to feel calm and peaceful. They are always giving, and yet they never exhaust their energy. Around them you will feel very good, very calm, very blissful, very peaceful. Okay? There is so much tej on their face, so much brightness, so much ojas, illuminating. This is what Sattvic people are. Sattvic guna. The sunrise in the morning is the sattva in nature. Okay? The sunset is also sattva. That's why we say 2 hours of sattva. There are 2 most important times in the day you should make use of. Is the morning, is the evening. Pratah kal, Sayakal, because this is the time of Sattva. Okay? Sattva laghu prakashakam. In Samkhya philosophy, they say Sattva laghu prakashakam, meaning Sattva, the harmony. Laghu means light, buoyant. These people are very light. Okay? No heaviness, no accumulation, because no accumulation. No, they don't store anything. And they are also not very driven by desires. They are in a state of balance. Okay? Prakashakam means light. And for Rajasic people, they say Upashtam Bhakam Chalam Cha Raja, meaning always walking, mobile. Upashtam meaning supporting, walking, mobile. Okay? Now we have also third bottle, Sattva. Can you see through the bottle? Okay, very clearly. If this water I add to this soil, it begins to dilute. If I add this water to this cold drink, it will begin to change its color eventually. That is why in yoga we say constantly the only solution to get over these states of self is to cultivate more and more sattva. Okay? Through the practices you are doing here. Okay? Even if I am shaking this, even though there are bubbles, the bubbles go in just a second. So it's not like Sattvic people don't feel anything, or they see, they're feeling, right? You're shaking them, shake, 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 shake. There are bubbles gone in a second because they don't store anything. Such is the state we should aim towards achieving in yoga. These are the 3 states we constantly go through. What influences these 3 states? Your action in your lifestyle, your food, your environment, your spiritual practices, how you live your life, the thoughts and the intention you carry. Okay? All of these together influence your prakriti. Okay? Who felt that they are going through a tamasic prakriti right now? Raise your hand. Which sort of prakriti are you going through right now? Is it Rajas, Tamas or Sattva? Very good. You will always have a combination of these three. They say a beautiful example of telling how these three gunas working within us is, have you seen a lamp? There is a lamp, there is oil and there is wick. This is how related these three gunas are. When one guna rises, the other suppresses. When one suppresses, the other rises. So you have all the three gunas in you. But in a certain period of time, based on your lifestyle, based on your actions, based on your intentions, your environment, your food, one guna predominates. One guna predominates. And it will suppress the other two gunas. They say, in the world of spirituality, even sattva is a bondage. They say, tamas is an iron chain. Tamas is an iron chain, rajas is silver chain and sattva is golden chain, but they are still chain. Okay? The higher beings have transcended the three states of prakriti and united with purusha. Purusha is yourself. The word purusha is your higher self that is witnessing, that is not involved. Your actually your Atman or your Purusha is just watching. This, the God is watching from within. That God from within who is witnessing you fluctuate again and again because of the play of Prakriti and three gunas, that is your Purusha. So, after a point, even when you sit in meditation, at first you will feel little agitated. And then the agitation or the fluctuations of the thoughts begin to slow down as you focus on the breath. And so tamas will come, help you ground. You will come to a state where the physical body will become stable, but only the mind is going on. And then you will observe slowly, even the mind will become silent. And you come to a very deep state where you feel nothing. Not the body, not even your breath, not even thoughts, nothing. That state of void or shunya is the state of where Purusha or your self is. So that self has nothing to do with what you are experiencing on the outside. That's why they say go inward, meet that self often. Then you realize that what thoughts that I am going through, I am not these thoughts. These are just cyclical habits and patterns that my mind has created. These are just the impressions my mind has created. Believe me, you have been going through a loop of thoughts for a very long time. Suddenly something very beautiful happens in your life. You forget that. You forget that. So are you really that thought? You identified yourself with a loop of thoughts which has been happening to you for so long. Suddenly something very beautiful happened. For example, you've been feeling that I am not good enough to be loved by anyone. For a very long time, you have no self-confidence, nothing. Suddenly a very wonderful man comes in your life, gone. Are you really that thought? No. That's why they say that life and Maya is nothing but the play of these three gunas. You must always be sajak, aware that I am going through Rajasic state. What are the practices I need to do to come to Tamas? Now you will make notes. Now I will tell you how. Now we have understood these three states. Any questions so far about these three gunas?
We understood the breath work, exhalation is tamas,
Hold is sattva, kumbhak. Absolute nothingness, no movement, peace, calm. There is a small pause after the inhalation and exhalation, very tiny pause. And in pranayam, when we breathe, we try to elongate that pause. That tiny pause that comes between the inhale and exhale is sattva. Right? That's why in yogic practices we try to elongate the hold, elongate the kumbhak, because that increases your state of sattva.
So I want to know which chakras basically are affected. So tamasic,
Bottom, you are operating from here. That is why in yoga, when you begin to do sattvic practices, that's why they say begin with asana. Because here, no desire to move. First move. First do asana, so your consciousness from physical body, with the help of physical body and asana and movement, begin to rise above. These are the 3 states of rajas. From here, you will see, if you've been doing sadhana for yogic sadhana for a very long time, automatically after the asana, you begin to experience pranayam will come to you. After the pranayam, meditation comes to you. Because the consciousness is rising from the bottom chakras, automatically up. Lots of love, compassion, empathy develops. You will experience everything. First thing that will happen is the cravings will go. That means bottom chakras are slowly getting weaker. Okay? You will start to realize, this is wrong, I should not do it. This is wrong, I should not indulge. Bottom chakras are getting weak. But there, when they were strong, only indulgence was happening, only craving was happening. And so your consciousness begins to rise, come to these areas. From these areas again, consciousness rise, come to the state of sattva, higher chakras, top 2 chakras. When you do sadhana, you get energy units. Okay? You are, I am pure consciousness bliss. Sat Chit Anand. I am Shiva. I will not let my consciousness compromised and polluted by anybody's thought. That does not mean you hate other people, but you are always aware of what can go inside me and pollute me. Be kind and be, if you are loving by nature, you will be loving everybody the same. It does not matter what they are. They may not be able to love you back. That is okay. That is a state of sattva. That, I will love you the same because this is how I am with everybody. Regardless of what you think of me, it doesn't matter to me. A Rajasic person will think, I will love you when you love me. Otherwise, get out. That's why it's very hard to find the real spiritual person. Actually, the real spiritual person is not even on social media because they have nothing to do with you. So very hard to find a real guru. Even the attachment to sattva is bad. If you think, I will always be sattvic. Sure, a snake is coming, be sattvic. Sattvic in heavens. So this is not the reality of life. You have to use your tamas, sattva and rajas properly. Okay? I am not going to talk about higher sadhana where you go beyond the gunas. It's too heavy for you. Even if I talk about it, you won't understand. But let us at least become the master of these gunas. Let us not become the players.